So good to be back. Episode 2. Oh, I'm so excited to join my fellow anchor woman.
We are anchor women behind this desk.
Bringing important news to the people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We really are.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited to connect with you. You've been on some adventures. I want to hear all about them. And then I have some nerdiness for us with human design.
I can't wait.
So I think we'll flow with all that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yep.
Let's do a little check-in, a little banter back and forth
Okay.
to start off, to warm up.
Yeah.
It's officially Scorpio season.
Oh my God, I feel it.
Yeah. I felt the shift.
I mean, we're on the day of the shift right now.
Okay.
Yesterday, today is like we're leaving Libra behind. We're going into the dark. I hope you brought a flashlight.
I'm dressed appropriately, as always.
I love it.
Yes, my season. Birthday's coming up.
Oh,
It's
do you get excited around your birthday season?
not really. No.
I hate it.
No. I do. It's interesting. I do have, like, if you look at my birth chart, my predominant astrological sign across the board is Scorpio.
Oh,
I am
wow.
a Scorpio tendency person. So I think it's on brand that I don't necessarily get all giddy and yay about
Totally.
my birth.
Totally. Picture you being like, don't wake me up early. Like, let's continue with our routine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's not get too crazy, okay?
Renee, you directly request of our friend group to have a celebration for you within your current schedule.
That's
you
right.
were like, if we're going to dinner, I'm gonna need it when the sun's still out.
These are my asks. This is my routine. Yeah, it's really, and in fact, I do want to speak to the routine piece a little bit.
I mean, it's about you on your birthday.
Well, that's true. But
We were like, we'll have dinner at 12.
yeah,
Like noon, if you would like.
thank you for that.
Love
Thank you
you.
for honoring me.
We were laughing because all the energy types in the group were like, yeah, and then we'll go finish our day. Renee will go get snuggly in her bed.
That's right. You guys carry on. Keep it going. Keep it real. Beyond that, but yeah, Scorpio season. I do love this time of year. I mean, I love October anyway, but
So beautiful.
and November. It's pretty lovely. But yeah, this year, I mean, and I also am not. Yeah, I'm not really one to make like a big deal of my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm kind of low key about it.
Yeah. Interesting fact, in human design, we work in an 88-day-ish portal. So you have a soul birthday that's about 88 days before your physical birth. And so oftentimes that portal is like a pressure cooker. And it feels like I've got to get to the finish line of birth. So when your physical birthday comes, and if you treat it like that pressure cooker of like final trimester of development, you're usually like, I might want to be celebrated. I might not.
Right.
I've been working so hard. I just want to be.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That would put it in Leo. That would put the soul birthday in Leo, which is my moon. So that's interesting in of itself.
Big Leo energy, undercover.
But yeah. The pressure cooker idea, though, I can definitely relate to. This year has felt a little bit like a pressure cooker. Yeah. We had a fun, light weekend, and that was an adventure, celebrating my son, my right on the cusp of Scorpio and Leo son. He turned 13. So now I am a mom to teenagers.
Gosh.
2 teenagers.
I can't believe it.
I
won't believe it.
It's a really quick...
You can't make me.
It's a really quick ride to get there, actually.
He's getting so, he looks like a whole entity. I mean, he's a whole person. Like, you start looking complete around that age.
That's right. Yeah, he really is. Yes. I mean, definitely always been full of personality and snark, but now he's really in his element. He's really letting it shine. Yeah, he's really letting it shine. Speaking of,
he's like, shine on you.
Yeah, he's like, shine on you. Check this out.
You're like,
so
let's turn that down a little bit.
Oh, yeah. No, he's full on. He's full on. So that was fun. We went to Raleigh. We had some good food. We had beautiful weather, gorgeous weather. Got to have some family time. Dynamics at home are such that my husband is traveling with a new job as of June more. So I know you and I have talked about this. We've been, adjusting to that. So it's like nice to have that anchor point of like a family weekend away.
Yeah.
Because,
out of the routine.
Yeah, it was a
Speaking
little
of
out of
routine.
the routine.
Yeah.
It was. But then I was really happy to be home and back into my ways, my settled ways, my routine ways.
Yeah. Well, Scorpio is a fixed sign. So we are, whether you're a Scorpio, like you're a Scorpio, obviously, but whether the listeners are a Scorpio or not, or have Scorpio in a big way, entering into a fixed season is a time to really anchor into what is working, what's not working, shed what isn't working, and then really commit.
Yeah.
I mean, they call it cuffing season. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
It's like a single term for single peeps. So it's kind of like it's getting cold, it's getting wintry, it's getting hibernation-y. So you got to like cuff them up, get them cuffed up. I don't know. I just heard of this.
I'm like, did you make this up? No. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah.
So yeah, it's time to commit.
Yeah. We're hunkering down, getting ready to. Daylight is fleeting. We are looking at that 5 o'clock, evening.
Yeah. And then in the morning, I'm like, wow,
we are in the dark for
the
sure.
moon is shining still.
So let me ask you a question about your routines. Do you feel like you're a really routine person, or do you just literally get up and follow your
I see where
your
my fairy
intuitive
wings carry me. There are certain anchor points in my day, and if I don't have them, I will spiral. So in the morning, especially, I've often thought about being a very hard person to live with, because in the morning I really need like silence.
Okay.
But I'll wake up early to get it, and I need it. I need low lights. I have my kind of skincare beauty routine, little bathroom routine. I've got my cacao routine, and then my prayer, my devotion time. And if I get all those things hit, might be like 45 minutes right there.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the world. I'll usually go to the gym, and that's been a routine lately, but I'm kind of like a seasonal routine person. So for a couple months, I'll have like the same routine, especially first half of the day. And then something will happen, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym in the morning anymore. And then I'll be in the afternoon.
Freedom to pivot. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. But the prayer, the beauty stuff, the cacao, that all happens in the morning always.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that, because I think I definitely get into seasons of super consistent. I'm going to speak a little bit about some of the things I've felt called forth to be more consistent with in this season. But it's interesting because sometimes, you see people who are like they're just like steady and regimented, and they keep the same routines for years. And I'm like, what is that like? I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fixed, but I'm not that fixed.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like I do appreciate I get up early like you, and I do appreciate having some time to get my bearings before anybody is asking or speaking or, there's any interaction going on.
We may have to, when we speak about profiles, we may have to see if there's a little thread there that we both share. Because I've spoken to several people that have similar designs to us, and we kind of want to like see the day, bird's eye view, before we get pulled down into the minutia.
That's right. Yes, and there are certain things I've noticed, obviously, that energetically feel better. Like this morning, it was beautiful. I went for a walk.
Nice.
Just kind of zoned out on walking and observing nature, and all of that I think is nurturing, no matter who or what, or all that. But I definitely, it's interesting when some people are like, hardcore morning routine. This is what I do. This is what I preach. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I will say, and I definitely have a protein, and this is like, this may be like middle-aged lady stuff here, so brace yourself.
Might be helpful.
I mean, it could be.
I'm taking notes.
Okay. I mean, pack it away for when the time comes. I don't want you to get too anchored down at your bright young age. But here's the thing. Protein in the morning, so I don't float away and out of my body, because I do enjoy some caffeine in the morning.
Oh, heck yeah. And so the protein just makes you feel
embodied.
My body.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It helps to process the caffeine for me, because if I just go in with caffeine and like a light something that's like carbs or sugary, that's not going to work. And that sets up the day. Yeah. I get very hypoglycemic, and it sets up the day to not be as enjoyable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really kind of fine-tuned this over time and trying different things. And the protein. So I do prepare the protein, and I'm pretty consistent about it. And every morning it's like, okay, into my little autopilot.
Right.
I have these little egg and cottage cheese bites with turkey bacon. Yeah, it's great.
We would like some.
It's not a huge meal because that's the other thing. Yeah, I'll share.
Okay.
I can share the recipe. I'm like,
no, I would.
Yeah, listen, I have it down because I don't want a big meal of a lot going on.
Yeah.
But the little egg bite, the turkey protein, I'm like, good with the caffeine. Got it. Listen.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't have many vices in life. Caffeine is like definitely coffee. I do enjoy coffee.
You're only human.
It's true. Yeah. And I've tried. I've tried to like go without. It's not my at this point in time, it's not my thing.
I get it.
So that has been kind of an anchoring endpoint. And yeah, I like to put if I can tolerate the temperature outside, the morning light.
Yeah. Oh,
the UV,
yes.
Is it UVA rays? It is. It's UVA rays, I'm pretty sure. When you get those in your eyes and on your skin, your hormones are better. You're, more regulated.
Your positivity, your outlook. Yeah. All the cells in the body are like, woo, let's go.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, just a couple little touch points here and there.
I love those routines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are things that could stay.
Yeah. And sometimes I am like, I'm like getting a lot that I need to write and process. And sometimes I'm not, I do tend to have some sort of writing break in my day to process and get things out.
Yeah.
And organize my thoughts.
Yep.
But that's kind of how I'm starting things. But I will say, and I don't know that we have time in this episode to get into my nighttime routine.
Oh my God.
It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
I protect my sleep like probably more than anything else in my life. And everyone knows this. Everyone in my family knows this. I have had boundaries created. Sometimes they're violated and sometimes at least they know they're there. But yes.
It has brought me so much joy often imagining you in your nighttime routine.
Listen, we could do a whole segment on what weird wellness thing Renee is doing now because I tend to grab on to things.
Give it a go.
And honestly, at this point, we have the deck is stacked with several things that really work. So,
and your order in which you have to execute because things layer on top of each other. I mean, it's so meticulous.
Well, let me tell you this.
Okay.
This is the latest thing, and I don't know if you all are ready for this. Although it's been out there a lot, and I don't know if this is just my feed that's curated with this because I talk about it a lot and it's listening.
And hopefully,
But mouth tape. Are you familiar with mouth tape?
I am. It came up as I was told that I was a snorer. So I had went and got lasers in the back of your throat that was supposed to help your esophagus not relax so much. That didn't work. And so then I was like, there's got to be something like more inexpensive. You know what I mean? Since I'm such a nuisance.
Rather dramatic.
It was a dramatic, wouldn't recommend
drastic,
it.
Not dramatic. Drastic.
It was painful, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking hurt. So
don't recommend.
10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. No results were found.
Oh, didn't even work, and it was painful.
Didn't work. But the mouth tape actually came up as like, well, if the thing never opens, then there's no noise to be made, and then it encourages the nasal breathing, which is good for so many things.
So
Okay.
You know about this.
I mean, this might not be so weird. I don't use it, but because girl, I like my air about it.
Okay. More to unpack there. I want to know why you don't use it, but we'll come back to that. Because listen,
they're dying to know why I don't use it.
Everybody wants to know. Well, this has been the latest thing because honestly, I like a dark room. I like an appropriate temperature. Not too hot, but blankets of comfort, of course.
And freezing.
And then,
which is pretty good for
some
sleep.
have said that. Right. Earplugs, okay? Mm-hmm. I sleep alone. I'm a projector. It's good for my hygiene. sleep
Spiritual
alone.
hygiene, energy hygiene. Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
That's a true, yeah.
It really works for me. Honestly, it was out of
people.
necessity because of having children that wanted to sleep in the bed. And that was fine. And I did that for a very, very long time. Like,
Yeah.
up until not even that long ago. So, and, you know, my dog could use some mouth tape because she snores like a truck driver. And so my husband and the dog love each other. And there's this thing with Frenchies where, you know, you think you're going to like manage them. They're a whole different ball game.
Oh,
She has trained us. So and when Chris is home, not traveling, they sleep together. Otherwise, my son now takes her. But anyway, so I've worked hard to get alone, first of all. That's what I want to say. It's been a long journey.
Isn't that funny? We worked so hard to get a family and build it all up, and then we're like, now get out of here.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, y'all got to go.
Seriously.
Okay, so there's a few things that you're alluding to that complicate this routine. But the mouth tape has come in recently, and I feel a difference.
Ooh, okay, I want to hear.
I do feel a difference.
Is it, first off, I was worried about the discomfort and feeling suffocated.
Understood.
Okay.
Now, the brand that I used is the Skinny Confidential brand. I'm a sucker for her trendy products. I forget some people listening know her name. I can't remember off the top of my head. Lauren, maybe?
Yeah.
Anyway, Skinny Confidential,
Yeah.
her mouth tape is very functional and cute, of course, because all her stuff is pink and cute.
Okay.
And so it looks like lips.
Oh.
Okay. So it covers your lips, but
Okay.
there's a hole that you can breathe and like a little, you know, slit. Like,
Yeah.
And you can also sip water in the middle of the night should you desire. It's
Wow.
not suffocating. It's really not.
Okay.
Like you can get air in your mouth.
Okay.
Now, there's all kinds of variations on this because I after I gave my whole family a fright by showing them what I look like with this mouth tape on, and everybody, you know, had a reaction. I'll just say, my husband in particular, what weird thing is this?
You're like,
He wasn't ready for it.
Well, some of them are like X's. Some of them are just little slits on the middle.
The man version that, the Joe Rogans do is called hostage tape, okay? Like, that is a whole different level of...
Well, and the X, I'm like, I don't want to X out my words.
No.
I want you to hear them clearly.
So, for whatever it's worth, no, I haven't shopped comparative prices. I have no idea how much I'm paying, but
So
it's probably a lot. But
Mama
I
Big
really
Lips.
love... Yeah, it's cute. It's cute. So, the mouth tape has been the most recent addition to the weird, if you will, wellness thing. And I love it. I feel clear-headed.
That's what I'm wondering.
When I wake up in the morning,
Okay.
I do feel clear-headed.
Good.
Supposedly, there's jaw chiseling that happens,
Love.
which, I'll take.
Definitely.
And what else? Oh, your eyes get brighter, stuff like that. And I've had, even when we went out to dinner last week, people were like, you look really bright. I'm like, I think it's the mouth tape. I'm not kidding. I
You
haven't
pull it out of your purse.
I
Would you like
will.
one?
As a matter of fact. So, for whatever it's worth,
Oh, man. Okay.
that's the latest addition to the routine. But anyway,
You just sold me so hard.
I'm going to give you a sample.
Ooh,
I
feel
would. I
blessed.
should get an affiliate link.
Yeah, 100%.
I really should, because honestly, I'm a believer now. I
I'm a-
reordered.
Okay, that
it's
says
working.
that. Yeah.
You try things one month and you're like, yeah, I'm
I do.
I'm done. No, it's coming
I
back.
do, especially, and for you to stick with something, because there are so many elements to your puzzle of sleep that for a piece to stick and stay.
Literally across my mouth, stick and stay. Yes,
I want it.
I know. I'm sensitive like that,
I
but
get
it is
it.
all working. It's all working
all-
together, and I'm really liking it. So anyway, that's the latest, I guess. But
Routines. I love it.
We could go. I would love to hear, listeners, if there's certain aspects of routines that you want to talk about, because I actually do have probably a topic that we can save and pocket that I'm digging into with a financial scrub routine.
Yeah.
This is really big girl stuff. I'm going to just say this is an area I'm holding myself accountable for. This has been a pressure cooker of not just a season, but a year when it comes to looking at finances and not putting your head in the sand for me personally. And just, it started with one of those moments of being informed of a tax bill that really shakes you to your core. And then the subsequent months of figuring that out.
Right.
have to say this month brought a lot of closure for that.
Oh, good.
And it all worked out, but it also was a moment. It was one of those lines in the sand where you're like, okay, let's level set. Let's get in there and actually really scrub down and look at things. I mean, the economy's not great. It's a good time to do it. It's like,
did you find it wasn't all that scary and bad once you got in there?
I actually have been leaning in.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Oh, wow.
I really
There's
love
a little control there with the Scorpio.
Maybe.
So maybe you're like, yeah.
I just like
power.
to see the details. I like to see like, oh, wow. Okay. Because I am I do have routines, but I'm also very intuitive and kind of in the moment spontaneous.
I think that's very woman of you. I resonate with
I also
that.
think and we're going to talk about profiles, human design profiles.
Yeah, true.
So we're getting into a real topic here in a second. I promise.
This is real.
This is all just building up. But that 2 line loves to wing it. And
Yes,
I've been,
true.
I got a ton of 2 lines going on and I love to wing it. And this is an area that I am being called forth to not wing it anymore.
Yeah, to start to ground the winging.
Yeah. So exactly.
Yeah.
Ground it in
A little bit of
a
facts.
little bit of strategy, a little bit of,
I wonder how much further you're going to be able to go now that the foundation has been checked and it's solid. And now you're going to just go fly with your intuition.
I'll let you know. And I will be happy to disclose. I'm very open book about all this. Like, I think money is an important topic that a lot of times people, and especially women, shy away from. I don't necessarily think it's something that we feel super across the board confident about. So I'm happy to share kind of what I'm doing specifically if you guys are resonating with that and want to know, because, that financial story, there's obviously all of us have a financial story and it influences us more than we know.
Yeah. Yeah. From your parents, from your conditioning, and then from being, male or a woman or, relationships you've been in. I know that even like me being the feminine and resonating with a lot of feminine qualities, I've been in relationships before where I was the provider. And so now there's that, I don't want to be, I don't want that sort of role. I love to provide and I'm an excellent provider, but I wouldn't like that to be my title.
Yeah.
I'd like to add to, but I think that there's so much conversation around how the masculine just really craves and gets so much satisfaction from providing. Being like, here's what I hunted and killed, like prepare it. It's that tribal adding to.
Yes.
And then we get to add to in the way that is a little more uncomfortable for the traditional roles of the masculine.
I love that. I think there is really something to be said for the balance of that and pulling that forward. So there's been a whole alignment audit when it comes to that, and really looking at, it starts with looking at, where it's flowing.
Yeah.
Being conscious of it,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that has been,
I love that. That needs to be.
It feels like a really potent combination of clarity and empowerment. You know what I mean?
I do.
You feel me?
I do. I think it's an important conversation and it's a little taboo, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And Scorpios love to get in there. And what's interesting too is Scorpio season is an awesome time to talk about finances because the Scorpio-Taurus axis, they're opposites. Yeah, and Taurus is about the money I make with my physical efforting. So if you know a Taurus, I have 2 Taurus brothers.
I'm married to a Taurus.
You're married to a Taurus.
This is all making sense, that access.
The opposites attract. And they also share the same values and themes. They just approach it way differently.
Sure do.
So you know what's interesting is the Scorpio is the specialist at leveraging other people's money.
Oh, that checks. That tracks.
Chris is like, cancel this podcast immediately.
No, he's like, monetize that podcast immediately.
Help us, Chris. Oh my God. So funny.
Definitely
we'll have an interview with her.
Definitely, yes, exactly.
Oh,
that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Scorpio works around like, how can we leverage this, increase ROI? What resources do we have? Like people, places, things, not just money, not just other people's income, but like what resources in the form of humans and talents and this sort of thing can we leverage to create, an abundance.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that we do have very similar goals. We just, as you said, go about it very differently.
But power couple potential right there.
Yeah. Well, we've come a long way. I mean, I've talked about before in previous iterations of podcasting that we filed for bankruptcy in 2011.
Wow.
And that was a freaking nightmare. Don't recommend ever. Yeah, we learned a lot. I mean, just biting off more than we could chew and, getting into the 2008 housing market and being qualified for something we had no business being qualified for. Yep. Learned a lot of hard financial lessons. So I feel like this is kind of like something, perhaps, maybe I'm a little, jumping the gun. Perhaps I have some medicine to offer with this. Let me get through. This is my last quarter goal, is to really continue to drill down, look at where things are flowing, and see where there's, things that need to be shored up and just kind of get a sense of things. So anyway, I think an audit, these kinds of audits, like when we talk about, leveraging our resources, to your point, I mean, our resources that are given to us are our time, our health, and our money. And if any of those are out of alignment, there's going to be some sort of disruption.
There's poverty.
There's lack. There's
that's
poverty. And it can really qualify in any of those ways. So really being, good stewards of all of that is sort of, what I'm constantly kind of leaning towards. But the money piece, I think I've avoided, and I've just kind of been like, I don't want to deal with that. That's not like, because there's some trauma there. I mean, the bankruptcy thing, y'all, that's if you've ever been through something like that, it is a journey to get to the other side.
Regain some confidence. And trust in yourself. And your partner and then the world and then the people who are advisors and loan givers and
we had to rebuild everything.
Of course.
But I'm really proud of where we've ended up in that short period. I mean, what was that, 14 years ago, 13 years ago? Wow. So anyways, that's what I've been up to.
But your energy it's because that area is so important for your sun sign, which is the light shining through you. Now that you're dialing that area in, like, you're going to be able to shine so much brighter, truly, because it's so important to your sun. I mean, it's like a Gemini sun not speaking.
Okay.
Like, if I'm not talking and there was a season where I wasn't sharing and I felt like I don't like the sound of my voice, or, these sort of
course. Yeah.
These all these relatable, I'm not qualified in this, what do I know, imposter syndrome things kept me quiet and small, and therefore I was dull and dim, and I felt like something's missing because I wasn't fully stepping into my sun, my purpose. So I think it's so cool to like nerd out on human design and nerd out on our moon sign and all these different houses. But if you're not doing your sun sign job, none of that shit matters.
Okay.
So
the sun sign is a heavy hitter. It carries a lot of weight.
I mean, it's like
in the whole chart.
70%
really
in human design is that gate.
That's interesting.
That sun gate.
Yeah. I mean, right.
So this is huge.
Right. And my moon sign and we're going to move on from me because I love the therapy.
I love this.
I'm like, can you just like, do I pay you after this? Am I getting a session?
If anyone's listening that's also a Scorpio sun, they're like, yes.
Yeah.
We're getting so much
Okay,
gold.
so we're in Scorpio season, so it does track for more than, it's a collective message.
It is.
And however, the interesting piece of this is my moon sign in Leo, and also Saturn is in the second house for me, which is all about resources and all about leveraging that, and learning how to manage those such things, right? Those two things definitely
building on a solid ground.
Yeah. So, hey, never too late. I'm like, at this point in life, if I'm lucky, halfway to dead, and I'm finally figuring it out. So join me.
No, we're living till 120.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what we've decided.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I need more time with you.
Oh, don't make me like emotional.
Why not? Forgot my tissues and everything.
Seriously, that's what we need on the set.
And I was thinking a candle, a little fire element.
Bring it.
Okay, I will.
Okay. All right. So what do you have for us today, Christina?
There's room for us
Teach
to
us.
grow.
Teach us all what you...
Okay, so I am nerding out on my Phoenix Diaries right now with profiles and human design. Human design is a beautiful system. If you don't know about your human design, there's so many resources and websites to run your human design chart. You need your birth information, including birth time. You can get your chart. You'll find your profile there. I love profiles because the number one question I get when someone comes into my office, aside from love, is what is my purpose?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
What role am I here to play? I feel like I'm not embodying it. I feel like I'm off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why I'm embodied here. And so I always look at the profile.
I love the profile too.
Don't you?
It's really fascinating stuff there.
It's very archetypal.
It's very practical information, I feel.
Very practical. Yep. It works on strategies, as we mentioned in the last episode. Human design is your yang system. If you want to feel better in an hour, go look up your human design and remember who you are.
Yeah.
So this is all the beauty of human design and profiles is it's a reminder of what to embody. But the cool part about all 12 profiles, so you're going to fall into one of these 12 profiles, and they're written like a fraction, as you know. So Renee's a 6-2, so that's 6/2. I'm a 4-6, and so the first number is the conscious number. It's the personality, and I'll get into that in a minute and use ours as an example. Okay. And then the second number is unconscious. I like to think about it as it's written on the body. So for me, I'm such a hacker. I love making the unconscious conscious. So I really nerd out on that second number. So it would be like, looking at the second number is like, oh my gosh, Renee, you have the most beautiful blue eyes. They're just so blue. They remind me of the ocean, my favorite place to vacation, and all this stuff. And you're like, you might feel like, cool, amazing. I couldn't change them if I wanted to.
Right.
So that's that second number. It's written on you. It's sort of outside of your control, and it's like destiny. It's written. Whereas the personality number is very much so in your control and something to really take a look at. So when we talk about the 12 profiles, they're a combination of numbers 1 through 6. So you have to check out your profile and see what you are. You could be like a 1-3, a 1-4, 4-6, 5-1. There's a lot. And they all have different types of destiny, which is really cool.
Say more.
Okay. I'm like, how far do you want to go?
Keep going.
I love this book, by the way. This is an awesome resource. I got this from Barnes & Noble. It's written by Rachel Liberman, Modern Guide to Human Design. And I just love how everything's broken down in like these beautiful colors.
It's
and
very
charts.
shine on you branding here with the bright colors. I like it.
So beautiful. So she breaks down the profiles, the lines, what it looks like to see those numbers combined. So I think what's really interesting is when we look at the profiles, the majority of the profiles are personal destinies. And so this is what my profile is, 4-6 and 1-3s, and there's many. I won't list them all. These are the people that if I want to get to a different place in my life, I have to take the action. The sense of responsibility for personal profiles is really massive. So we feel like if I want to make more money, I have to get the other job. If I want to have a better partner, I have to get rid of the shitty partner. Like I have to take the action. Okay. Whereas the transpersonal profiles, which is Renee's, which is yours.
True.
There's a certain feeling of, yes, you have choice. Yes, you have control. And also the universe is sort of moving you for you. So it's kind of mystical. It's meant to sound a little fuzzy. It's about karmic interactions with others and certain places that take you to the next level. So you have just enough like free will to keep you alert and seeking. And then things just come to you to clear karma.
Yes.
Verified. So what's so cool about your partnership too is Chris is a 4-6.
Yeah.
And so he's sort of like driving that. He's on his train.
Yes.
And right, he's a force of nature, and you're like a part of that train and benefiting from his progress. and then also adding to it in your magical kind of intuitive way.
Is it less transpersonal than personal numbers, right? There's only like 3 that are transpersonal. Is that right?
4.
Anyway,
4. Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
And then
split down. It's not split down the middle.
It's not split down the middle. The majority are personal. And then there is one caveat, 3% of the population. I think it might be a little bit less now.
Yes.
This was an old number. When Ra first came out with human design in 2015, 16. But there's a juxtaposition destiny, and this is a fixed fate. So it's a combination of the personal and the transpersonal, but it really is just they're on a train and it's driving them.
Right.
And those are the 4 ones. And they are magical beings. I have the pleasure of knowing a few of them, and they have such a mythical life. When you look at where they've been and how usually far they go in a short amount of time, it's incredible.
Interesting. Okay.
I know.
Yeah,
I would love to just like talk about the lines.
Okay.
And then maybe we can just kind of add in our little 2 cents.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the first line is the investigator. If you have a profile with a 1 in it, you are here to get to the bottom of things. You're meant to find and seek security through information. So these are the nerdy peeps.
Yeah.
Right.
The scientific. Show me show me your
facts,
your references, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this, they can be a little bit skeptical.
Yeah.
Because of this. And they can also have a lot of insecurity because do we ever really know everything? There's always that, and you see this so much with the 5-1 profile because the 5 is the heretic, which we'll get to. It questions, and then the 1 is questioning. And so we have this like, well, they're not telling us anything anyway, so what do we really know?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're a 1 line, some of the best things you can do is let yourself fall into wormholes. Go and study whatever speaks to you and just become a library of information.
Yeah.
And then also know when you know enough to just begin.
Right.
At some point you just have to start.
Right. There's analysis paralysis, I think, that happens with
good.
1s.
Yeah.
In particular.
Yeah. Then the 2 line is the hermit. I also like to refer to it as the naturalist or the dancer, and it's here to flow. It's here to trust its innate knowing that it has these gifts and skills and talents that it might not understand why.
Yeah.
And there is a deep instinctual nature with 2s.
Okay.
Where you'll see it where it'll just be a 12 or a 13-year-old and they just know what to do with a baby. They're the only ones that could soothe the baby. And they just have this gift. They were never shown. They have the patience. It's just wired into them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
2-line life is interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit, because I think it's also, from what I've read, understood, and studied in my own human design journey, is that the other people can see them very transparently, which makes them feel very vulnerable because that sort of causes that natural retreating energy.
That's right. The hermit.
Because they can't see themselves.
Yep.
They need to be kind of called out. Yeah. Thank you for calling me out, because I would be home right now.
Totally.
No surprise there. And yeah, it's a little bit of a vulnerable thing, being so seen. So then they do like to go into their little hidey hole because it's safe in there and they can process.
That's right.
That's been my experience.
And it's important with your profile that you always honor that part of you that needs the cave, that needs the withdrawal, and finds its own security and safety there. And then usually 2s, you'll find them in their cave. It's very attached to that needing to feel safe and in their own space with trusted people only.
Right.
And then they're usually tinkering with something.
Right.
They're not just like doing nothing. The 1 will be studying.
Busy.
And the
very busy.
Very busy. Tinkering away.
Oh,
like
all day. Happy.
So happy. So then the 3. So the 3 is known as the martyr. This is a human design term. All these terms are meant to catch your attention. I like to think about it as the experimentalist, the adventurer, the risk taker. The 3, when you meet a 3, they are someone who has lived a lot of life. They're extremely resilient. They crave adventure. My brother is a 1-3, and we always used to play and get along so well because the 4-6's first part of life is as like a 4-3. So our 3s, like he had the 3 in that position, I had the 3 in that position, would have so much fun and also chaos. And he was always more resilient than me. And when you have a true 3 in your profile, you are just built to handle stuff. Like that's the kid that falls and they're like, I'm fine. And like, there's like blood everywhere. Can we keep playing? Can we keep going?
Yeah.
They're just
experimenters.
And they're meant to, I think the only time a 3 really gets down on themselves is when they're not having adventure. Maybe they're conditioned to have a job and 9 to 5 and be still and be a good dad and, not have that excitement and play. Or if they have been shamed, which is a big 3 signature shame, that all their experiments and experiences were failures.
Oh, yeah.
So every
bumping up against that feeling of failure, right?
That's right. Yeah, and when you meet a 3, their stories, woo, they're awesome.
Yeah, they've been some places, seen some things.
They've seen some things.
Tried some things.
Yeah, totally. Especially 3-5s. They have the best stories because the 3 is in that conscious.
Yes.
Yeah. So the 4 is known as the opportunist. It's the marketer. It's the friendly smile. It's the warm, loving, service-oriented number. So 4s love to be a part of a community that they get to serve and that serves them as well. So 4s are really here to help increase our capacity to love and our capacity to serve and recognize that there are things bigger than just the 1, 2, 3 journey.
Okay.
That's where 4 starts to get into that transpersonal, bigger picture, like we are here to love beyond all of the other, studying and hermiting and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think 4s get people burnout a lot more.
I was going to say, I think they do too. Because I think there's this thing about them being a networker, but I've actually heard that's not actually totally correct. It's more about you all can read the room and know, like, you kind of assess and know who your people are.
Yeah.
And you gravitate to those people because you can get into some shenanigans with those people.
And
they will get you, and you can like move kind of not the needle in a negative way, but you can kind of, I don't know, sink in and latch on to those people. Is that
I love that.
For you?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it might sound a little cold, but that's the shadow of the 4 is we don't really want to waste time with things that don't have an ROI.
Yeah.
And the ROI could literally just be receptivity.
Hence the opportunistic. Yeah. Exactly.
But if I gravitate towards you, that leaves this other person who I don't gravitate towards available for the person that does.
Sure.
So I always say that with relationships. A lot of people will come to me and they're like, oh, I'm just with my husband because of this, and this, and like, it's not really working for me and this kind of thing, but I'll just stay in it. And I'm like, but what about him? He deserves to be loved and cherished.
True.
And someone out there will, but that you're like totally misinterpreting love and connection when you're just thinking of you.
Like hoarding that sense of, yeah. In the sessions that you do, I feel like you get such interesting real life examples and feedback of where people are really at. Yeah.
It's sometimes a little sad.
Yeah, and I'm sure it comes in intense and vulnerable because you are so loving that, I mean, it would be like easy for everyone to just kind of be like, here's all my stuff.
Here's my shit. Would you like to see it? I'm
Yeah.
like, great. Take it with you when you leave, though. I think
here's what we can do with that. And
Sage.
we're done.
I think my 6 helps me just sort of rise up, and I'm like that. And also, when the beginning of my journey, I really had to learn to stay out of judgment.
Sure.
What's right for me is certainly not right for other profiles. The 4, like,
Y'all are pretty fixed.
oh yeah.
Like, if I didn't want to talk about this today, we'd still be talking about it. If I was like, I really don't want to cover that, you'd be like, okay, that's fine. And profiles.
I brought my book in case, just in case it fell open.
Yeah.
So
I understand
funny.
this well. I live with this.
I love that. We can be. And then we're like, My mom says this all the time. She's a 2-4. She's like, I'm open to your opinion or what you want to do, but you need to bring evidence and support. I'm like, yeah, and nothing's ever supportive enough. And she's like, well, bring your A game. I'm like, Mom.
Bring it.
Okay, so the 5.
Okay, yeah.
The 5, it's known as the heretic, the fixer, the practical one, the savior. 5s are here to universalize knowledge. So we can see the progression here, right?
Yes.
From the 1 all the way up to the 5. The 5 is like, let's take all this personal ooey gooey love medicine and let's just make it a collective cultural message. And so 5s, being the heretic, they're here to say, this is what's wrong with the world, and here's my solutions for it. Not always for like all topics. Usually 5s have their niche, have their area of interest, but they can be challengers.
They're I don't want to say judges. That's not the right word, but they're definitely bosses.
Oh yeah, big boss energy.
Big boss energy.
BB.
As a mom to a eldest daughter 5-1.
She's something else.
They're coordinating like all the people and
Absolutely.
I get it.
Like when I say she's something else, like she's a force of nature.
Yes,
like she's incredible.
That is interesting. Yeah.
And I've very magnetized to 5-1s,
Yeah.
and I magnetize them to me. I've had very long, intimate relationships with 5-1s, and I often find the biggest thing with a 5 is that they have to recognize the projections that they're welcoming in and be honest and upfront when they cannot practically fulfill the role.
Yeah.
So if they're entering into a relationship and they're like, yeah, I'm really looking for my soulmate, I'm looking for a wife, and I'm looking for mother of my children, but then they actually are, let's say, not fertile.
Ready. Yeah.
Not ready.
Yeah.
Don't have a job.
Right.
Don't live in the same country.
Perhaps.
We don't say that. Just saying. So
Yeah,
the 5s
I
have
get
to be
that.
careful.
Yeah, because the 5s, they take in a lot of projections. A lot of projections come towards them. They're kind of like shiny when they're born, and then, all of a sudden they're like human, and everybody's like, wait, it is sort of like a pressure-y profile in what I understand it to be. But
yeah, and that can cause them to want to retreat, and then it causes a lot of paranoia.
Yeah.
5s become, and I always say when I have a 5-1, I'm like, or a 3-5, be paranoid. Like have a certain amount of healthy paranoia so that it keeps you honest. Like if someone is like, oh, you're my soulmate, and you're like engaged with someone else, you have to be honest. Otherwise you will disappoint someone, and for a 5, that's like,
ouch,
real bad.
Okay.
If you need a practical solution to a problem, call a 5. They're great.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Love
great.
that.
They will come in, save the day, and then they'll peace out, and you probably won't see them for a little while, and then they're there.
Yeah.
Think of our friend Penelope, who does amazing skin treatments and soul treatments at the same time.
Exactly.
And when you call her and you get in there, you know what you're going to get, and it's like a soul savior.
Yeah.
We love you.
True.
Penny pie. Okay, the 6th. Final line. The role model. We're the best. I'm just kidding. That's it. Imagine.
Oh boy. If you are still listening at this point, here's the deal, y'all. We're both 6 lines.
We love it.
We are. I'm going to talk about the shadow that I perceive, but keep going.
Okay.
You go first.
Well, back to us being awesome before the shadow.
Right.
Excuse me.
Ready to shut that down. But yeah, no, I hear you.
I mean, I'm teasing, obviously. The role model actually has the greatest amount of pressure on it, even more than the 5. When especially a profile like a 6-2 comes into the world, they are born as an adult. They're like, they come in with a blazer on. They're like, here's what we got to do.
Oh my God.
They usually raise their parents. They feel this projection that they need to be perfect and they need to pick things up really quickly. And then there's the internal knowing, I have to be great, and people are watching.
Yeah.
And so there's an extreme pressure to be an overachiever, type A, to progress.
We try a little hard, is what you're saying.
We just want to get there, baby. And then we get there and we're like, everyone go away.
Yeah. Gets a little intense.
The 6 is on the roof, as Ross says. So it's looking down, it's observing, it has that beautiful bird's eye view. That's what I was mentioning in the morning. I like getting my bird's eye view before the day comes in. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the 6?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 6s definitely are, quote unquote, the responsible ones that see, like, there's just a certain integrity or something that comes along with it where, like, you just kind of, and again, this could be influenced by other aspects, but in my experience, seeing and living with a 6 husband, and I have, you are a 4/6, my best friend is a 6 line. Like I just feel like I get us and we really have good intentions, but sometimes we just think we know better than everyone else.
Oh.
And we can see the highest road and we're aloof sometimes. Totally. And we're like,
totally. Where are you?
We're a good time.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not open and receptive to it, and me being a projector on top of that, good Lord, like no wonder like I repel. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, honestly.
I mean, if someone wants to be seen, sit next to you.
That's true.
The 6 line also, this is very interesting and something I was like so wanting to bring up earlier that it'll tie it in nicely. They live their life through 3 phases, a 6 line. So they live in that trial and error all the way up until the Saturn return age, around 30. And then the Chiron return around 50 brings in and ushers in that transition from the middle phase, which is a little calmer, a little more peace-oriented, build the family, raise the family, integrate all the experiences from the first trial and error phase. And then the final phase after the Chiron return after 50 approximately is, okay, I have to do something in the world now because I've lived a lot of life.
Right.
I've alchemized it. And I'm now ready to be present, not aloof. So Richard, who's the founder of Human Design, or of Gene Keys, a student of Human Design, he is a 4/6, and he didn't write any of his works until after 50.
Yeah.
And now he's touring and speaking and doing it all in that last season, which is beautiful.
Yeah. So, I'll just keep being patient because it always, and this could be the 2-line piece where it's just like, I'm not quite seeing myself, but I do think that like, I haven't quite hit that stride yet in life. I've tried a lot of things.
Yeah.
And some things I'm certainly proud of and have been, you know, quote unquote, you know, achieved goals and that kind of thing. But I just have the sense that that's not quite it yet.
Right.
Or it's all like, it is like honestly always running in the background.
This is it. And this can be insanity for 6s because we're like, fuck, we have to make an impact here.
Yeah.
Like quickly now.
Time's ticking.
Right. So that's why I was mentioning that there's a lot of pressure with the 6 lines. And I see a lot of 6s as clients, and the medicine is always just keep going and let yourself still have trial and error as you need it.
Right.
Because it's just refining your message.
Right. I love that. Yeah. And I think also, I mean, we're not talking about the centers today, but we probably should because, I mean, I have an open head and root center in the Human Design chart, which also lends itself to feeling pressure and
all the time.
A 6 profile line. So that's a good time. Because you're constantly like, there's a little turmoil in there.
Is it time? Yeah.
Inner angst in there.
Yeah, a little bit.
I appreciate the explanation again. I loved hearing about the profiles, and I would love to hear if you know your profile.
Yes.
Tell us in the comment. Yeah. Leave a comment and tell us whether you're coming across this on YouTube. We now have the full unedited, for better or worse, raw footage on YouTube, which is a little bit of a vulnerable place perhaps for 6 lines because, you know, there's no timeout happening there. There's no, wait, let me start over. It's just flowing.
It's flow.
So if you like that kind of thing.
If you're like a weird little 1 line, you little creepy investigators.
If you'd like the edited and polished versions, you can find us, of course, on whatever podcast outlet you listen to.
Love it.
Yeah. And then we'll be back and, we're rolling out twice a month at this point, but we want to hear, what topics, what questions. We're going to get, some interaction going. We'll talk about like how to do that, but you can always find us on Instagram, which the show itself doesn't have an Instagram handle, but I'm at Vibe with Intuition.
Yep.
You are
the Blonde Priestess.
Obviously.
Clearly.
So you can message us there. It's probably the most direct way. If you're like, hey, you guys got to talk about this.
Yeah.
I would like to. We talked about taking questions or real life scenarios.
Yeah.
That perhaps you'd like us to
speak on through our lens of expertise.
Right. Yeah. See what comes through.
That would be so
for
fun.
You brave little souls out there that want to go there with us.
Slide into the DMs.
Yeah. Slide into the DMs. Yeah. This was so fun. I loved this episode too. I really did. And thank you all for your warm reception in bringing this to life.
Yes.
Definitely have felt that.
Oh man, I'm so lit. Like I came in here today buzzing.
Yeah.
The first episode went live and I was like, look at it. It's real.
It's real. It's happening.
Yeah. So the baby's in the world growing. This was so fun. Thank you for letting me nerd out.
No, you did.
Okay.
You did us all a favor in breaking that down.
Good.
For sure. Because you can't hear it too much. I feel like I've heard it many different ways and I always get something different.
Yeah.
So,
same.
Yeah.
Same.
Thank you.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you all. Thank you for listening and being here. Please follow the show. Leave us a comment and a review if you really feel inclined.
Yeah. Give us some love.
Give us some love.
Give that force some love, baby. I love it.
Let us know you see us and we're not just talking to the ethers because it can feel that way sometimes. But anyway, see you guys in a couple weeks.
Bye, y'all.